All right, Brad Bird, you turned down Star Wars 7 for this. Better be good. Tomorrowland comes to us from director Brad Bird. Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol, The Incredibles, Iron Giant, Ratatouille, phenomenal director. He leads George Clooney into this world of fantasy and invention and imagination as they kind of explore what Tomorrowland might actually look like. I think this movie comes down to whether or not you like it or not, is going to come down to if you're willing to give in to the bright-eyed optimism, the rose-colored glasses, the hold on to hope message in the movie. If that's not something you're prone to, I think it's going to feel cheesy and over the top. If you love that stuff, it's going to move you and resonate with you in a culture that oftentimes looks to focus on the darkness and the cynicism that kind of goes along with our world. I'll give you one guess as to which side I land on. Yeah, the hope and optimism side. I loved this movie. I think it's very well done. The story is told very well, but more than that, it's just moving in a way that many movies haven't been for me. The message about hope and optimism is so clear and so powerful, you have to confront it. And I think that's purposeful. I think that message is right front and center because they want you to have to confront it. It's almost as if Brad Bird and the makers of this movie are like wrestling the culture away from cynicism, like trying to just like wrestle it back. Like that's the theme of the movie, it's the message of the movie, it's the plot of the movie. And yes, it's hammered home, but I think that's for a reason. In many ways, it feels like a Disney ride. It's no accident that the ride It's a Small World is at the beginning of this movie, because it's almost like that, right? Where on the surface, it's this very cheesy, sing-songy thing, but there's something there about the brightness of hope and the reality of that is, I think, attractive. Now, for many, it might feel cheesy. It might feel like that Disney ride, and that could be a negative in many ways. And you know what the reason I think is? Because hope is simple. It's not complex. Hope is not a complex thing. It's not an easy thing. It's difficult, but that doesn't mean that it's complex. Hope is simple. Cynicism is complex. And I think a lot of times we yearn for the complexity of the true world instead of just holding on to hope where we find it. And I don't think this is a movie about blind hope. I think it's about purposeful hope. Anyways, you can tell the movie really impacted me. I had a good time. There are other negatives. It's not a perfect movie. It's certainly not as good as Brad Bird's other movies. I wouldn't put it on the level of Incredibles, Iron Giant, those kind of movies. I think there's some plot issues here, some structure issues where it doesn't flow as well as we would want it to with, you know, the conflict in the movie feels a little bit underdeveloped, if that makes a lot of sense. So there are those aspects too, but overall, I had a great time with Tomorrowland. Notice I didn't even mention George Clooney because the acting is fine, but it's not the point of this movie. I had a really good time. I love the message of hope in a world of cynicism. And you know what? I didn't even talk about the effects. Beautiful effects. Wonderful world here envisioned. It's a fantasy world. It's not real. A lot of it doesn't make sense. In fact, they even joke about in the movie that a little bit. But it's fun and it's imaginative and it's cool to be in. I had a great time. I give Tomorrowland an A-, and the minus just for those plot issues and some of the problems that it has. So thanks for checking out this review. I appreciate it. Feel free to check out others. Click the little cards up in the upper corner there. That'll give you some other reviews that I've done recently that you can check out. Also, support what's going on here. I had somebody comment that we should do like where people support and then request a specific review of something that's already been out, maybe in the past. I love that idea. I'm kind of formulating what that pay-per-review kind of thing looks like. Maybe simply enough, if you support the station, put in the comments, I want you to review this, and over the course of the month, whatever title, you know, book, not book, I'm not gonna read a book, movie, it just would take too long, movie, TV show, you know, song, album, whatever, anything, comic book, whatever you would want me to review, whatever at the end of the month has the most donations to it, I'll do a review for the next month. That seems simple enough to me. I'll formulate it a little better, maybe put out a review. But anyways, that's all up in the cards. Also a link to the website if you want to check that out. As always, here's, oh, and if you want to subscribe down in that corner, that's where you do that. Here's 5 extra seconds to do so.